Ah, Mamdani. Dios me libre. Oh my God. This is comunista. This is socialista comunista. Me, I like the other guy. No, Mamdani. Como? Maybe a little bit. No. I like it. Courage.
Are you a Democrat?
Me? No. And me, a Republican. Because this 4 years so New York is destruction. And the bus, lot of people no pay. Me never. I'm paid all the time because I respect the line.
He win, by the way?
He won.
They chose the knucklehead, so we're gonna pay for it.
What happens if he opens up the government-run grocery stores?
I'm not with it.
Oh, you don't like government-run grocery stores?
No.
$30 minimum wage. Can you explain how that might affect businesses?
On the hell, it's over.
How are they gonna make payroll?
It's just about all the policy that he tried to do, increasing the workers and the taxes. It's not good.
The minimum wage doesn't help the worker, it just helps the system. Pay more money, more taxes, prices go up.
Overnight, half of them will go out of business.
Well, I'm in a blue state, I'm sorry, but I've been red my whole life. Democrats have always ruined, steal, rob, and lie.
Any thoughts on having him for 4 years?
What I can do is just swallow and try to face it, but it's not easy.
We're cooked. We're on the way to becoming a communist state.
The city's in trouble. We're in trouble.
Good luck.
Boy. So we got to continue our coverage of New York City electing a radical socialist to be their next mayor. Okay, I think that this is the downfall of New York City. We're going to see how this socialist experiment works, but I think it's going to work out the same way that it worked out in Portland, Seattle, Oakland, San Francisco, Chicago, especially Chicago, because Zohran Mamdani reminds me the most of Brandon Johnson, right? He came in with the same socialist promises, right? But, I mean, Zohran is more radical than Brandon Johnson. Again, regardless, my point is that a lot of these things that Zohran is promising is not going to happen, right? And people are going to learn the hard way that the things that do happen are probably going to be bad, right? It's going to be terrible. While all the nice, free stuff that this guy offered to his voters, yeah, that's probably not going to end up happening. And if it does happen, it's not going to be a good thing, okay? Because Zohran is already rug pulling his voters, right? His followers, his fans, who again were promised that, hey, once I'm elected, everything is going to be free. Except getting free stuff costs money, right? Apparently, because Zohran Mamdani is now begging his followers for money in order to help fund his transition team so that they can make stuff free. Yes, you can't make this stuff up. Zohran Mamdani is saying, if you want to get free stuff, it's going to cost, right? You got to pay me. You got to give me some money in order to get free stuff. Take a look.
Good morning, New York City, and thank you. Last night we made history, and today we begin the work of making a new administration. Welcome to the transition. This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign, to make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people it serves. As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors who oversee entire areas of government and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and a hunger to solve old problems with new solutions. Talking to organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records, policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve. And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
Yeah, so, that to me kind of seemed like an SNL skit, right? I mean, it's like, is this real life? This socialist who literally campaigned on making everything free. All you got to do, just make me mayor, right? Once you elect me, everything's going to be free, okay? But apparently free stuff costs, right? Free stuff ain't free, right? Because you got to donate to Zohran Mamdani. You got to give him some money. You got to pay his transition team and him in order to get the free stuff that he promised you. It's almost as if, again, the free stuff ain't really free, right? It's not really free. But, again, if these voters, if Zohran Mamdani voters were actually, economically literate, if they actually understood how the world works, how things actually work, then they wouldn't be socialists, right? They're only socialists because they don't understand a damn thing and they don't know a damn thing, okay? I'm surprised that Zohran Mamdani didn't just go to Alex Soros, okay, who's a billionaire, right? The same billionaires that these socialists claim that they want to tax out of existence, right? They don't think should exist. Why did he go to Alex Soros and tell him, hey, fund my campaign, fund my transition so my poor followers, right, my poor voters won't have to donate to my transition team, right? They don't have to donate in order to make stuff free. It's kind of funny how that works, okay? It's kind of funny how that works. He could have just went to his billionaire supporters and just, asked them for the money, but apparently he rather asked these poor people who are apparently struggling so much that they need free everything for the money instead. I'm telling you guys, socialism is the most lucrative grift in this country, right? The easiest way to become a millionaire is to pretend like you're against capitalism and the billionaires, right? While complaining about it on their platforms, right? Using a billionaire's platform to bitch and complain about billionaires is the easiest way for a socialist to become a millionaire, because they damn sure are not going to get a job. They're not going to start a real business. They're not going to actually produce anything of value for society in order to, make money, right? No. They have to use the billionaire's platform to become millionaires and to get elected in the office, and then to turn around and to basically campaign on taking down the system that allowed them to become millionaires and billionaires in the first place, right? Again, it's amazing how that works. The socialist grift, I don't understand why people have not come to this realization. The socialist grift is the most lucrative grift in the world. There's nothing more lucrative than being a socialist. It's nothing easier than running on free everything and that the white man is the cause of all our problems, right? There's nothing easier than that. So, hey, at the very least, Zohran Mamdani, his transition team, the team that's going to make everything free, they appear to be in good hands, right? Because his transition team is all women, right? All women on his transition team, which is something that is being noted and praised by the woke revolutionaries.
Listen to this. Mamdani, the guy who just got elected mayor of New York City, dropped his transition team, and it's all women. Yep, every single one. And honestly, it's pretty badass. Alana Leopold's running point as executive director. He's got co-chairs like Maria Torres Springer, who used to be first deputy mayor, Lena Khan from the FTC, Grace Bonilla from United Way, and Melanie Hartzog, who's a deputy mayor for Health and Human Services. So essentially a lineup of women who know what the hell they're doing. He said he wants this team to help launch what he's calling the city's most ambitious policy platform in a generation. And that's a pretty bold statement. His campaign promises were wild, but in the best way. City-run grocery stores, free buses, universal childcare, a rent freeze on stabilized apartments. All paid for by taxing the rich and corporations that have been milking the system forever. So yeah, he's swinging big. He's also breaking a ton of records. He's the first Muslim mayor, the first South Asian, the first African-born mayor of New York, and the youngest in over 100 years. This dude is literally rewriting the city's political history before he even takes office. He's got 57 days to pull it all together, and he's acting like he's already on the clock, which honestly, he kind of is. The all-female team, it's not just about optics either. It's a statement. It's saying, I'm not here to play by the same old boys club rules. And it's landing. People are paying attention. Having Lena Khan on board, especially, that's huge. She's been one of the biggest names in antitrust and corporate accountability. And it says a lot about how serious he is about actually taking on power instead of just talking about it. But of course, this isn't going to be smooth sailing. The guy's got a massive bureaucracy to deal with, a ton of big promises, and a political climate that's already throwing punches. Of course, our president's out here threatening to withhold federal funding from New York. Because of course he is. And Mamdani's already had to deal with disgusting Islamophobic attacks throughout his campaign, yet somehow he's still out here, calm, focused, with that beautiful smile, talking about compassion and capability instead of revenge or fear. What a concept, huh? Anyways, this all-women transition team is more than a headline. It's a signal. It's him saying, this is how we start over. This is what it looks like when power shifts hands and when the people taking the wheel actually give a damn.
Yeah, no, Zohran Mamdani's transition team is actually a sign that this experiment is going to be an absolute disaster. And the reason why you know this is because of the fact that the transition team is all female. There's absolutely no way that his transition team, I don't know what the positions are and what they're supposed to do, but there's absolutely no way that women were the most qualified, right? They all were the most qualified for those jobs and those positions, and that no man had the qualifications to be a part of the transition team. No, that tells you that he's picking people, that his administration is led by wokeness, right? That radical socialists, radical leftists, radical feminists, these are the people who will be calling the shots. They will be leading this administration. These are the policymakers, right? These are the people that are going to be in Zohran's ear, which means that all of the woke extreme stuff that these people believe in is likely that that's what they're going to try to do. That's what they're going to try to implement during this guy's administration. That's what's going to happen. And again, we've seen how wokeness leads to disastrous outcomes, specifically when it comes to the issue of crime, right? Crime, homelessness, quality of living type issues. Yeah, wokeness is a disaster, right? An absolute disaster for those issues specifically. So we're going to see, but the business community, people in the business community, they are scared. They're upset, and they're warning that they're going to leave, that people are going to leave. There's going to be a mass exodus of taxpayers from the city because they're not going to want to be a part of this socialist experiment that probably is going to turn New York City into Gotham City. I mean, it's basically already there, but this basically guarantees that New York is going to be a shithole that nobody's going to want to visit, that nobody's going to want to do business in within probably a year or so. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Welcome back to The Exchange. Wall Street couldn't stop Mayor Mamdani. Now it has to work with him. That is the headline on a Wall Street Journal piece today following Mamdani's mayoral victory. In an exclusive interview, our own Diana Olick got to actually speak with one of Wall Street's heavyweights about Mamdani's potential policy impact, especially on real estate. Diana, talk to us a little bit about your conversation with Barry Sternlicht.
Right. Well, Dom, I sat down for more than a half an hour just now with Barry Sternlicht, who is the chairman and CEO of Starwood Capital Group, and he had a lot to say about the Mamdani effect, but his message was clear, at least for commercial real estate. Democratic socialism does not work.
So maybe he'll learn from history. Maybe the million people that voted him won't realize that socialism's never worked anywhere on the planet Earth ever. And especially what we'll watch is safety and security. That's the number one thing. If people feel like their kids aren't safe on the streets, they will pull them out of school and they will leave. And if he defunds the police or he doesn't give them the honor and prestige they deserve, I think the city's in for a really tough time. We have a big office here ourselves, and I mean, we'll see how this works, but the team in New York is for the first time saying maybe we should leave.
And I asked him if he had contributed to the Cuomo campaign. He said no. I asked if he had spoken with Mamdani before the election. He also said no, but he said he does expect to see both people and businesses leave New York City.
New York will survive. It survived de Blasio, but it's a shame it's probably going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And that's coming from a business perspective. You know, I am a greater New York area person. This is an amazing city with a great vitality and great youth and energy, but the core issues are not what he's focusing on. We need to increase housing. That's not going to happen easily, right? You need serious subsidies from the government. If they want us to work with unions, you know, the unions have to be more accommodative on their work laws and the wages and everything else. Otherwise, you can't add economically.
And he added that Starwood Capital, of course, has a presence here in New York City, and he said they were already talking about perhaps moving out. But there is just so much more in this interview. Just hear the full 30 minutes. You want to subscribe to the CNBC Property Play newsletter. It'll be out.
Yeah. So you seen that, you heard that. Business owners are scared. They're saying, hey, we're going to move out. We're going to leave because it's going to be difficult to do business here for a variety of reasons, right? When you talk about economically, socialist policies, when you talk about crime, again, that's wokeness, right? The crime thing is a wokeness thing, right? This is why I know it's going to be a disaster. Again, if his transition team, if it's all women, that means that wokeness is going to be leading this administration, right? And if wokeness is leading the administration, then they're going to have a lot of problems. Again, specifically when it comes to quality of life. Crime, prostitution, trash, homelessness, drug use, right? You know, all the things that we see in San Francisco, one of the wokest cities in the country. Yeah, all of that, you're going to have those same issues, those same problems. Because, again, these woke people believe that, hey, homelessness, we should just allow it. It's fine. We should just allow open-air drug use. It's fine. Just allow prostitution on the street. It's fine. Criminals should be punished. Jails are racist, right? Police are racist. I mean, this is the type of stuff that Zohran has actually said. This is what he actually believes. And look who he surrounded himself with. The most radical people, the most radical socialists. So it's hard for me to believe that somehow, some way, this guy is going to be some type of moderate. He's going to realize that, hey, let's not go too far with this. When he's surrounding himself with the most extreme people. When he's already showing the world that, hey, yeah, socialism and wokeness, that is what is going to be guiding our administration. Look at our all-female transition team, right? It is already a bad side. He's already off to a bad start. I'm telling you, we've seen this play out time and time again, okay? Even if he wants to be moderate, even if he's smart enough to realize, hey, you know what? Maybe instead of rent stabilization to make housing more affordable, let's actually, decrease property taxes. Let's actually do some supply side economics in order to do that. They're not going to. The woke people in his administration, again, New York's a big city, so he has to build a big administration. He's not going to have control over everything. He's going to be putting woke people, the wokest individuals, in positions of power and authority. And again, it's gonna be a disaster. Even if he doesn't want it to be a disaster. Even if he just realizes, wait, hold on now. A lot of stuff doesn't make sense. We shouldn't defund the police. We shouldn't be allowing all this homelessness on the street. We need to actually clean up city. He's not gonna be allowed to do it because he's gonna put a bunch of woke people in power, right? And that's the reality of the situation. So we're gonna see. But yeah, if you're an actual taxpayer, right? If you run a business, if you have the ability to leave, you probably should leave. Now, I'm not saying come down here, right, to the South. I think we're full, right? I think we're full. We got way too many people leaving these places, and they come to the South, and then they end up voting Democrat. No. If you're going to come, then you got to make sure you vote Republican, right? If you come. But if you come here and you start voting Democrat, nah, just stay there, right? Stay there. Okay, maybe go to New Jersey, go to Connecticut, New Hampshire, go somewhere else, right? But don't come here if you're going to be bringing your voting habits with you, because you voted yourselves into this, right? All of these people that are leaving, you voted yourselves into this. Don't come here unless you're voting Republican. That is my message. So we're going to see, but let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.